All right, welcome everybody. My name is Clint Thacker. I'm the Executive Director at the Animal Service Center in Mesilla Valley. It is August 5th, 2022, and we are going to do our conversations with Center. First, I want to do is let everybody know, reminder that we have our drive-through vaccine clinic happening this Saturday, tomorrow, Field of Dreams, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are expecting a lot of people. The number one complaint we had from when we were doing it, or from the March 2022, was that it was on a Sunday. So we tried and finally were able to get a date for a Saturday. So we hope to have a huge turnout. Just to give you an idea of how big this event is, in March of 2022, we did 731 rabies vaccines, 622 DHPP vaccines, 283 Bordetella, 126 feline vaccines, and an incredible 549 microchips. So we expect this one to be bigger. Our last one in March was the biggest one we've ever done number-wise. So we are excited to see if we can go bigger this time. We have tons of water, cooling towels, awnings, everything out there to help the incredible coworkers stay cool. We're going to do our best. So that one's out of the way. All right, I'd like to go over, we have 3 questions for this. First one is who is a volunteer coordinator? Great question. About 2 months ago, we got permission to post the new position for volunteer coordinator. We did hire our very own Vanessa Chastain. So she was a veterinarian technician, and she moved over to the foster coordinator position. This was perfect sense because so much of our foster need help medically. So it was great to bring her in. We also moved the position and put it under our medical director, again, because of all the medical needs that our fosters need. So Vanessa is our official foster coordinator. She has a phone that is for fostering individuals. So if you need to get a hold of her, you can get a hold of her. It's a center phone. She does turn it off when she's not working. Good for her. And I hope she continues to do that. But her email address, in case you need to get her, is the letter V as in Vanessa or Victor, and then her last name, which is CHASTAIN at las-cruces.org. Again, really quick, the letter V for Vanessa, and then CHASTAIN at las-cruces.org. So that is who our coordinator is. The next question is there any way that welfare holds can be handled differently so that owners don't panic because they don't have money for the reclaim fees? All right, so this one, we work constantly with individuals who state that they don't have money for reclaiming. In this case, this was a specific dog where the owner was still, I believe, incarcerated or in a facility where they couldn't get the dog. Someone stepped over to foster the dog. So we didn't have to hold on to it for so long. But if that person would have come forward and said, yeah, I want to get the animal, we'll work with them. We do that every single time somebody says they don't. Even the individuals or the guy that, when Foster Snyder went and saw the dogs on the property, that big whole thing. Well, the dogs were originally ours. And so the dogs were originally the center's, and we got a hold of the owner who's in the hospital. We held onto the dogs as long as we could. We didn't charge them anything. In fact, we sterilized the dogs for free. So yeah, we were always working with individuals to get their animals back to them. Thank you to the foster who stepped up and took care of that dog for the individual. All right, next question. Make sure I get these in order of how they were sent to me. All right, in the interest of getting lost pets back to their owners and out to the shelter, do you still charge a fee when people report to claim their pet? So yes, we do. We have a base amount, but it varies. It all varies on how long the animal was here, so the number of days we cared for it. It also matters or depends on what we have to do to the animal for it to go. By law, every animal has to leave here microchipped. So if they have a chip, they have to pay for it. Depends on if it's the second impound where sterilization fee, or the first impound, sterilization fees need to be charged. That's a state law. So to say how much it is hard, but do we still charge a fee? Yes, we do. Only because we have to have something to offset a little bit of the costs that we have in caring for the animal. Food is just the bottom of it. I mean, you're talking about people time, having the building open, and medical. So it doesn't even, the amount we charge doesn't even come close to touching how much money we put into it. So it said, if you do charge, or if still in place, this is a very bad policy that discourages people from reclaiming their pets. We thought the same thing. In fact, we talked to Best Friends Animal Society 2 years ago, I believe it was, right before COVID hit, about the policy or about charging. And so they gave us a grant that covers fees if an individual cannot, if it's their first impound and they cannot afford. And we thought this would raise reclaims high. It didn't do a single thing because we were already waiving those fees. What it did do is it just meant that the center got a little more money for those animals that we were already returning, and we were doing it out of pocket of our own, but Best Friends helped cover it. But it did not increase reclaims at all, which I thought was interesting as well. All right, next one. This is our last question. Is now there are more community cats registered as ASCMV property. Who is responsible for medical care, caregiver or ASCMV? Thank you for this question, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And this is a good example. So there are no community cats registered as ASCMV property. If that was the case, they would not be community cats. Community cats are community cats. Nobody owns them. That's why they're called community cats. The only thing that ties them to the ASCMV is the microchip. And we're not registered as the owner of the animal, of the cat. We're registered as the person who implanted the chip. So what would happen is somebody picks up a cat, ear tipped, they scan it, then the microchip can be found in our system, and it will show that we put the chip in. It does not show ownership. So then it goes back to the question is who's responsible for medical care. If the animal comes in injured and it's a community cat, if it can be treated, then our staff will do the best that we can. However, and Dr. Haddon, you can jump in anytime if you like to here. You guys know treating a cat that's possibly feral is next to impossible after it wakes up. So it all depends on the injury, the extent, and the condition of the cat. Also, one qualifier for the community cat program is that it has to be healthy. So we're not going to return an injured cat. If the injuries are so bad and the cat is feral, the cat will be euthanized rather than releasing it back out to the area. If the caregiver sees something or sees a cat that has something wrong, they are more than welcome to take the cat at their own expense and get something done.
So what we will treat is if it's treatable right then and there doesn't have to be any follow-up. What we've had come in is these individuals that are really sick, and that if we were to anesthetize them for surgery, they could die. And I don't want that. I think some folks may think we put them to sleep sooner than not, but I'd rather do that than have them die on the table.
Yeah, thank you. There is a question in in the chat, and it's hilarious because I totally messed it up. Dr. Haddon asked me. She says, "Wasn't that the Pet
Oh, I'm
Smart
sorry. I'm not.
the Pet Smart grant for RTOs?" And I replied, "No, hotspot baked sugi." So what that means is Dr. Haddon's referring to the PetSmart grant, the $50,000 that we received from PetSmart just last week. That money is going towards having cats that are in hotspot areas that are identified by either the public or by animal control. So we'll go in and that grant will be used to trap those cats. And instead of burdening us here at the center with those surgeries, that we have agreements with another veterinarian to take them there and be able to, and then that money will be used to pay for that sterilizations at other vets. So, all right, well, that is all of the questions that we have. I do have some things I want to follow up with really quick and let you know some things that are happening. I told you about the August 6th drive-through clinic this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also, all of August is Core the Shelter month. We've had some traction already with the media, Telemundo's coming out, and I know Amy Deflix went out and did a news spot with another news station. So we are excited for them to come out because anything is good with having media in these animals. So Core the Shelter, Borman Auto is sponsored 170 adoptions. So what we do is we average them out and we say, hey, can you do this many? They gave us $4,250 to sponsor these adoptions. So kudos and great thank you very much to Borman Auto. Go buy a car from them, will you please? On August 27th, we're going to be out at Borman Auto doing an offsite there and have animals up for adoption. So adoptions are $25 all month, but Borman Auto is sponsoring 170 of them. So in other words, right now, they're free. So we're excited for that. We are going to be making an appearance at the county fair this year. We're going to have a booth there. That is on September 28th. It's going to be manned by a staff member and then also volunteers. We're going to be pushing really hard the animals that we have in the center, volunteer work, foster work, to sign up, all those great opportunities. We most likely will not have dogs on site for adoptions only because the county fairgrounds, one, stated they really don't want us there, and two, they're putting us right next to Bernice and Michelle, Doc, help me out. Is it the dock jumping? That's shelter dogs, or is it something else to do where all the dogs came from the shelter, from a shelter? I can't quite remember.
I just remember they were going to have some type of animals there and they didn't want our dogs to interfere with whatever they have.
Yeah.
Is it agility?
Yeah, I think it might
Kind
be
of an agility something. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're grateful they thought of us, and we're going to be there in a booth answering questions when it needs to be done. We had a trap neuter return day on July 28th. Dr. Haddon and her amazing crew did 36 surgeries, came through. So thank you very much, Doc, and your staff. That was great. These trap neuter return days are set aside solely for the public that wants to bring cats in that they have in their area for sterilization. We were able to do 36 of those, and it was so very successful. Volunteers on 826 Pioneer Bake location across from the event center on on El Paseo. We are doing an event there. So August 26th, Pioneer Bank across from the event center on El Paseo. We're going to be having animals for adoptions and tents and the big truck there so people can see and come and adopt animals. And again, all of the adoptions are all the $25. Michelle, you had a question?
Well, more of a statement. We're doing both Pioneer bakes.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. I'd like to know some of our jobs that we have right now. We have our surgical tech position in the medical department. We're at the tour stage. So what that means is names have been submitted. Dr. Haddon's gone through the applications, and now we invite people to come in, take a look at the center and see what they're going to be doing. We usually find that about a third of the people that applied drop out when they realize for one, who the executive director is, which is me. And then two, they find out just the harsh environment this is with the smells and the dogs and the cats, all those things. So that's where that position is at. She is filling the vet assistant position. She's at reference stages right now. So she selected somebody, and then the policy states that we have to call and these references that they have listed, and there's some set questions that we ask them. So that's where we're there. Great news on our front here. And this is where Dr. Haddon and also the kennel staff needs to take a big bow and say thank you. Our last 62 tests that we sent out for distemper came back negative. There were no positives whatsoever in our last group of testing. So thank you very much, Dr. Haddon, and also Paul Richardson, our kennel supervisor, and all the kennel workers, everybody working together. You guys, it was a huge team effort to get both things working together, both departments, and then also getting the distemper. I mean, those Doc and her staff were testing, and the kennels staff was moving people or moving dogs around. It was crazy. We were so thankful that we were able to get on top of it. So yeah, no positive with the last ones. I'm sorry, the last position that we can talk about is Michelle, the front office. They are hiring full-time and 3 part-time individuals. Those names have been submitted to Human Resources for the city. So they're pretty much already hired. They're in the process of getting onboarded and going to join our ranks. Just for update, also, we have, I believe, I want to say there was 5, Bernice, correct me if I'm wrong. How many people started this week in the kennels?
I don't remember exactly. I think there's 7 actually.
7.
And we were almost completely filled, except we had one other person who just left us. So now we're just down 1 kennel staff. So, but that's pretty amazing. So
Yeah, and they're part-time, right? The one that,
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, 7 people started this week, Monday. So we're starting to rebuild our population. I really believe we're able to pay more, and that brings more people to the table, of course, and that's there. So thankful we're able to get that process approved for payment. Also, in the board meeting that was last week for the new building, we got positions approved. So we got 3 full-time positions for the front office and 3 full-time positions for the back kennel staff. So those positions will be directly related to the new center that's going on right here next to us. We're going to start rehiring for those positions right now, because it takes about a month and a half before they get posted or even get hired. Sometimes it takes that long. 2 months about is the average it takes to get somebody on board. And then, so right then we're in August, September, October, and it takes a good month for kennel staff. So that's November, December, and then a good about 2 months for front staff to really be effective on their own. So that means we're into the new center by then. So December 2022 is the substantial completion date that we're looking for the new center. We were just in there yesterday. It was Michelle, Bernice, and I. The ceilings are getting painted. The sheetrock is all up. The mudding's all done. Some kennels have even been installed. If you saw the live Facebook Live that we did, you saw those. I mean, it's coming together really quickly, and we're grateful for that. So that's our presentation we have. I thank everybody. Oh, it looks like we have a chat. Is it a question? No, I've never considered being a DJ, Dr. Haddon. Although my wife says that I do have the face for radio, so that might help. But I thank all of you for being here today. We are, the next one is, of course, the first Friday of every month. So we're looking at Friday, the September 2nd is going to be our next one at 1 o'clock. And yeah, if you have any questions at any time, you can email them to me and I just print them out and set them aside so we have them. So please send me your questions if you have any. Other than that, Dr. Haddon, Bernice, and Michelle, do you have anything to add?
Nope, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Just tell everybody to come to our VAX clinic tomorrow. It's awesome. We have a lot of fun. It's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. So everybody come see us. That's all.
Yes, I can't stress that enough. Please, everybody come and enjoy the day. So thank you all. Have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, 9 to 2, Field of Dreams. And have a blessed weekend. We'll see you later.